I'm totally lost.
You're on, okay.
All right.
Sorry about that, guys, I apologize. We can start over if you'd like.
Go ahead. It's right on this side.
Again, this is a public hearing to make a modification to the definition of mini storage warehouses, and it would allow outside storage, whereas currently only inside storage is permitted under the definition of mini storage warehouses.
Of course, there's lots set vacant now for some years. There's a lot of abatement soil-wise that has to be dug up before any building is built. The ultimate goal is to have outdoor or storage units, a single row along the back fence line. But in the meantime, it's just the opportunity to have in case someone wants a camper or something, whatever. Fence would be redone completely, and there would also be privacy slats put through at an angle so you wouldn't see any storage whatsoever through the whole thing. Townhouse still on the property, so you have security light aimed away from any residential area. When I say security light, it's probably just gonna be a town street light. I think Philip and I have talked about it. It's one of those LED town street lights, so it wouldn't be invasive or anything for, I guess you call it light pollution.
Eric submitted a set of proffers, which the screening would need to be added. But his list of proffers, this really is part of the conditional use permit application. But so you know, it states all outside or exterior lighting shall be directed away from residential structures. No on-street parking for traffic generated by the activity shall be permitted, so no one can park out on Broad Street and block traffic or anything. And all items stored outside shall be properly licensed at all times. And we say it's outside because anything that is like a car that is parked inside is not a violation of our ordinances for license.
Abandoned.
If a boat's there, it has to have a current tag. It's not gonna just be a storage yard for someone to just throw stuff. It's,
Well, I haven't read it, so how many storage houses you plan to have?
the storage houses will come in the future. The main goal is, and I mean, not everybody knows this, but we're working on the building behind Mr. Bagley to do indoor storage units there. And so this was just an afterthought, having this lot next to it for anything, say if someone comes up and wants to have a boat storage spot. Instead of storing it in their side yard in town or something, they could have a spot in town away from their own home.
That was
And be
protected.
secluded and safe, and so,
Can we add the slats to the proffer?
yes, that's perfect fine.
Certainly. And we can state it by saying,
The back fence, there's two sides of it that run, and they're completely grown over with shrubs or whatever. They will stay like that. I mean, I'll clean it up somewhat to just shape up the trees, whatever, but they're gonna stay just to create a buffer between the back properties. So,
activities shall be screened.
and it's not gonna be just that, like the wind screens that you see at the ball fields, that plastic stuff. This is the actual plastic pieces that go in the woven wire fence. So it's not gonna get torn or ripped and stuff like that.
You can put it on all four sides, proposed to the
Oh, no,
side.
you can't get to the other two sides, because they're grown with,
So just the sides that are on the public right of way.
correct,
But you would retain screening.
yes, on the other sides, as it is now.
I think there's a definition for screening on our zoning ordinance. It says a 6-foot impervious evergreen
Yep.
fence
You can't see
or a hedge or a 6-foot fence that you can't see through. We went through this down on Mam Street, if you guys remember.
It's zoned R3 currently,
Mhm.
nothing, it's zoned R3 currently, nothing in that whole neighborhood has ever been compliant in zoning. So it's just a matter of just cleaning up the zoning, really. Just like the possible storage units next to Mr. Bagley, it's gonna also have to be rezoned, or have a conditional use, because what's been operating there has no use permit, conditional use permit, so it's actually not compliant with zoning. So it's really just to keep everything clean and straight,
What's been operating there?
storage.
Oh, okay, so it has been storage.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm sure you've talked to Mr. Bagley about it.
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Bagley, you good with it?
Yes, ma'am.
It's not gonna, I don't mean to be any hindrance to any neighbors, so if anything, it's gonna
I
be
know
fine.
you,
It's
and we know
gonna
you
make the
make it
neighborhood
look
look better.
good. We know you're gonna make it look good.
Believe me, it makes my yard look terrible.
You wanna open the public hearing and then see if anybody else has anything to say, and you can close it? and then
Okay.
act.
All right, we'll open the public hearing to see if anybody wants to speak for or against the idea that's been put in front of us of modifying the definition of mini storage to include outside storage of boats, trailers, or trucks. The trucks being under 7,500 pounds gross vehicle weight.
No tractor trailer.
Right. Anybody would like to speak for or against what Mr. Nash has proposed?
I own the property right next to it, and I don't have a problem.
I've talked with Mr. Nash, we talked several times about the process. I'm just sorry that I didn't get an opportunity. I've talked with the owner when he first moved in, I asked him to give me the first dibs on it. And I am agreeing with, Mr. Nash, and wishing him Godspeed with his new endeavor.
Okay.
Make a motion to close the public hearing.
A
Okay.
second?
All right.
All in favor?
Aye. That's right, yes, that's all.
Okay. Is there a motion to approve the modification of the definition as has been proposed?
So moved.
Second.
For the record, I'll abstain because of family relationship, but all those in favor of this amendment, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed by like sign. The motion is passed.
And as a formality, the placement of mini storage warehouses now potentially council will approve or disapprove the final, but does require a conditional use permit to permit it. And that's where these proffers, those 4 proffers that would be entered into the record as well, would be part of the conditional use permit.
So do we have to open another hearing?
Another public hearing.
Okay, we'll open the second public hearing.
And this is just a conditional use on the storage units
On the
itself.
storage units and the storage.
Okay.
With the proffers as presented, and adding screening
With the 4 proffers. Yeah.
on the road.
If you'd like me to, Mr. Chairman, I can read the proffers to you.
Okay.
Again. All outside or exterior lighting shall be directed away from any residential structure. No on-street parking for traffic generated by this activity shall be permitted. And all items stored outside shall be properly licensed at all times. And activities shall be screened from the public right-of-way and adjoining residential property.
Only other question I have is, does this mean that if I want to come into the warehouse at 3 in the morning, I'd be permitted to do it? In other words, is there any, there's no time frames on this that, and I,
We could do time, I mean, that's not a big issue, I wouldn't think, I mean, what's this, I mean, would it, I don't know.
I'm just thinking the
would think, I mean,
neighbors, yeah, I don't
10
know,
o'clock at night latest, I don't know, I mean.
I don't know.
No
I just-
lights, no reason, no.
yeah. I just don't know what they do at the other many where I do other storage
I don't
areas,
think they probably have any conditions that I'm aware of.
so they can come in there
I don't think
anytime.
any mini storage warehouses have really been done, but I think Irby converted those into mini storage warehouses after 1992. I'd have to go back and look to see if, but he doesn't have as many neighbors, but I'd have to go back and look to see. That's the only one that I think came after the zoning one. I think Coles was already
That was
here.
done before.
Yeah, that was before. Would you be willing to put some hours?
Yeah, it doesn't bother
I
me.
mean, I don't know that it's necessary, but I just bring it up as a question. I don't know that it's necessary at
It
all.
wouldn't be an issue, but I mean, either way, it's fine with me. You're not gonna see it at a bustling place, no,
After 9 o'clock or something, would you say?
that'd be fine, yeah.
No activity on site after 9 o'clock?
I don't know, that could become an,
Now, that's just for this particular property. We'll come back and deal with another property if we need to. This is
Yeah,
just for
'cause
this,
is just conditional use, so it's.
yeah.
for this property.
I mean, I don't know that it's necessary. Brought up as a matter of discussion, but, if y'all want to
If
do
it ever
that,
becomes an issue, I'd be very welcome to the neighbors coming to me and saying, hey, can we do something?
Is it problem?
well, why don't we do this? Let's leave it out of the proffers for now. And if there's, something comes up down the road where you have activity, then you
That's fine.
come back.
Okay, is there a motion to close the public hearing, the second public hearing?
So moved.
Second? All those signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Okay. Is there a motion to approve the conditional use permit as proposed?
So
So
moved.
moved.
Second?
Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 All those opposed by like sign. Motion is passed.
You're abstaining?
I'm abstaining.
That is all the business we have. Those are the two specific items. We had a meeting a week ago, so I think you got your pretty well briefed on most things. So, anything comes up, we've got lots of activity with, multifamily units, with, nothing so much on the hotel side, but plenty of discussion and talk and activities, I think, still some apartments, and townhouses, and all that sort of thing. 4 or 5 different projects that have been submitted that are either in construction or in some state of.
So your Gravit property's been taken out of development
I think it's
situation.
out of the development business. I don't think the buyer has really any kind of. He might. But all of the above projects are inside town and water and sewer customers and electric customers of the town and.
Don't have to be rezoned for the most part or anything like that?
David McCormick, as
Uh-huh.
you know, Wausau.
Yeah.
That's what he calls himself, Wausau Development. They have their property next to the lofts.
Well, we already did that.
He already did the rezoning, so he's good to go.
Mhm.
We rezoned some property down on Tavern Street some time ago. There may be something, I don't have anything formal, but
Okay.
I don't think you have to rezone that.
You say the timetable on the old power plant building had been put off till after he does the project
That's
down.
what he's indicated to me.
Okay.
And he's not under any obligation to begin at a particular time.
The only concern I've had with that power plant property is maintenance of the grounds, in the meantime.
Yeah.
Who's in charge of maintenance of the ground?
I think last summer what was finally done, somebody sprayed Roundup up there
I
and
saw
just
that.
killed everything up there.
So, moving forward, the Nottaway Commons project,
Mhm.
I really haven't seen any movement of any kind. Nothing has been proposed or drawn up, or other than the original concept plan that was given to us. Met with FAST today, and they're about 75% of the way done with the project, and they really expect the full project to be done in September, October. I think she said 6 or 7 months.
Have we had any movement as far as relocation in town that you're aware of? Some
Well,
of the families?
There's indication. I talked to Sid Smythe on the phone, and he has sold a home to a FAST family. Our
Okay.
receptionist, new receptionist, her husband works at FAST, and they
Okay.
moved to the area. But I don't think it's an overwhelming volume at this time. Her husband will be permanently stationed here in the next few months, so he's here in and out, but
Mhm.
he'll be here permanently, I think, sometime this summer.
Okay.
And, it's gonna be, and I'll just tell you, trying to capture these students and these folks is gonna be tough.
Mhm.
Gonna be tough. You'll be able to get some of the instructors, contractors, people that are here for some period of time.
They're
But
gonna
without
want,
a massive or significant hotel, it's gonna be a tough thing to capture.
well, they're gonna want the amenities they can get 45 minutes away.
I think that, I can't say it's terrible, because they'll still be here, and we'll still be able to try to do our best to capture as much as we can, and activity is better than no activity. It used to just be woods out there, and, you know. I'm hoping that we will see more and more of the folks that train and work out there,
But I've also
deciding
heard,
to either temporarily or permanently live around here.
I've also heard though, and I think you probably have too, that Pickett reserves the guard out there. A lot of that's gonna end up moving back.
I've heard that.
Well, I've heard it fairly directly, and it looks like to me, we may get a small gain out of this Fast C business, but it worries me even more that we're losing what I consider more or less established.
I think there are some elements of the National Guard headquarters that'll be going back to.
Oh, they definitely are. I mean, it's
I think some of that.
uh,
May very well happen.
well, I understand Mates will stay, but also understand that some of the other is I think that's something the town council needs to look into, because,
We met with the adjutant general about 2 weeks ago.
Okay.
in the office. Maybe longer, maybe 3 weeks ago. He's a very upbeat guy. But at the same time, we may be losing those sites. There are gonna be multiple new positions, for example, at the airfield. As air traffic controllers, and I think they have an intention to build a fire station out there at the airport and man that. So I think he's pretty bullish on Pickett right now.
how about the runways?
It's just a daunting project to extend it, because if you go to the south, you've got the Fast C, that's not an option, so you have to go north. And you have Route 40 to go across. It would be literally building a tunnel.
How about
under-
repairing the existing runway? Did they
Pardon?
say, repairing the existing runway, did they say anything
I
about that?
haven't- Nothing specific, no, I haven't heard anything coming about that. And I haven't had anybody come to me and say there has become a problem. I'm sure there's maintenance that needs to be done, cracks that need to be sealed and all that, but, I have not been presented with, we got a problem.
Whose responsibility is the runway itself?
Federal government, or the guard, or however that trickles down, but it's owned by the United States.
Okay.
And, the federal government actually owns all but, about 20 acres at the airfield. Joe Allman has bought some from the town, and, we still own basically our fueling area, our, hangars, and a portion that is up to, Route 40.
Are your hangars full?
Hmm?
Are your hangars full?
I don't know if they're active airplanes as much as I would like to see, but someone's paying rent on all
Has
that.
anybody discussed building any more hangars out there?
More hangars are not a bad idea. However, the state of Virginia does not allow its Department of Aviation to participate in the construction of hangars. It would be all town money. They'll do site work, but they won't pay for the actual construction of hangars that are gonna be rented out.
And my understanding is there's no hangar space here, there's none in Crew.
I think that I had a gentleman who was trying to find a place in Crewe, was unable to, and approached me at a basketball game several months ago and was looking in Blackstone.
I know who it was, and he's in, he's had to take his plane to,
East Farmville,
Petersburg, I think.
Petersburg.
I think so.
I don't have the kind of funds available now. If you remember with our airport, we are setting aside all of our gas and fueling revenues. I guess the net of the revenues, not the growth. And we're setting that aside, and we just finished paving the road into the industrial park side. Jay Lee just finished that project. We have some fuel farm upgrades that we're doing right now. We have some cash in that. I don't think I got enough to build any hangars now.
How about if an individual wanted to build a hangar right there and lease it or lease
It's
it
been done
back?
before. If you remember, UAV Pro originally put that Quonset hut, and I think the town leased the site to UAV Pro. I don't think it would be out of question to try to do something. I'm just not financially ready to jump on a $250,000 project out there. I'm gonna have to build up a little more cash before we can step into something like that.
Any other business come before the planning commission? We'll adjourn the meeting.
All right, thank you. Okay, 2 easy weeks.
Philip, you talked to.
What you been up to?
I'm gonna top this out.
Nothing.
Talk to AJ tomorrow.
Oh. No, I was just